I'm going to take a look in this video at how symbols work in different tarot decks, and you should think about, as you look at these, how do you like symbols to appear? Do you like the traditional RWS symbols, all of them, some of them, a variation on those symbols, or maybe none of those symbols, or only a few? So let's take a look at a few tarot decks. The first one is the traditional RWS. It's the Radiant Wise Tarot. And this is the Moon card. All of these will be the Moon card. The Moon card traditionally has a wolf and a dog, a lobster coming out of the water, two towers on either side, and the moon up above. So all of these symbols, and I'm sure other things in here, the hills in the distance and the grass and so on, have some meaning in this card. And they appear in various forms in a few of the decks I'm going to show you. So that's the traditional symbols. Now, let's look at another deck and see how those are treated. This is the Brady Tarot. It's an animal deck. And for this card, we have the lobster coming up out of the water. We have the moon. We have the two trees instead of the two towers on either side. And there are small dogs, maybe coyotes, wolves, because this is nature, it's out in nature, below the moon. So we've pretty much got all the symbols that I pointed out in the Radiant Wise, but we've also got, instead of a face, we've got an owl. Next one is the Alchemical Tarot by Robert Place. This has some of the symbols. It has two dogs, no wolf, but two dogs. It has a moon, but a newer moon, not the full moon. It doesn't have the lobster, but if you look in the top right corner, it has a crab symbolizing the symbol of Cancer for the astrological symbol. And it has a symbol for the white stone, which is alchemical. The next one is the Ellis Tarot. It has the moon. It has the dog and the wolf. It has a person's face in the water, so a person representing the subconscious, which is what the lobster kind of represented in the traditional one. And instead of towers, you see a hand coming up on the left and a tree on the right, so they kind of form those two columns. So most of the figures, a little variation. The next one is the Deviant Moon. This one really varies from the traditional. We've got the moon, of course, but we have no dogs, we have no lobster, we don't really even have water in this one. What we have are two people who are basically enthralled to the moon, to the power of the moon. They could be the subconscious that the lobster usually represents, kind of breaking free, but it's very different. That's the cards I want to look at. What do you like? Do you like lots of symbols, all the traditional symbols, some variation on them, some other symbols in there like the alchemical ones? What are your ideas about how symbols work in cards for you and how many you need and how traditional they need to be?